Hey guys, it's Robert at LMH Capital Mortgage. This video here is going to talk a little bit about how to purchase a house with less than perfect credit. And I'm going to be real brief here because you can go on and on about how to do this and different tactics and strategies that are available to you to go ahead and purchase that house. But just some of the basic things here. During the application process, we're going to analyze your credit and look at all your assets. So you're going to want to get together your last 2 months bank statements or retirement accounts, wherever your assets are sitting, and we really want to take a look at those. The minimum credit, currently that we can get files completed in, we need at least a 580 credit score. Now, if you don't have a 580 credit score, let's look during that application process here and see what can we do in the short term here to get your credit score to that 580 and beyond that. So maybe you're on a time crunch here where your lease is up and you want to buy a house. There's something going on with your credit that's bringing it a little bit lower, but maybe you're at 590. Well, yes, you can buy a house with 590. The terms are not going to be as favorable if you had, per se, a 740 credit. So to answer a question that I get a lot, what's the minimum credit score I need? Typically right now it's 580. So during this application process, we want to really pay attention to your income. The last 2 years of employment or service. And when I say that, if you're working for company XYZ and you've been there for 2 years and your job description is the same, maybe you're an accountant at the Denver Post. Well, you've been an accountant for 2 years, and that's your job. It's probably just a salary job. Maybe you get a bonus. So when we start looking at your income, we really want to look at how is that income derived. Is it derived all off your base salary? Do you get commissions? Do you get bonuses? We have to put a 2-year history together. Now, it's not to say you have to be at your particular employer for 2 years. You could have made a lateral move to a different company. You could have gone back to school for education. We just want to be able to document all that history of your employment or whatever you've done for the past 2 years. Maybe this is your first job, but you've been in school for the past 2 or 4 years, however long it takes you to get through school. Well, that's okay. You can still buy a house. You've proven that you were occupied as a student as your job for the last 2 years. So the main point I want to emphasize here on the 2-year history is again, where is that income coming from? Is it coming from all salary? Is it hourly? Is it bonus, commission? And then what you want to be prepared for is some letters of explanation. It's not typical that you've been at your job for 2 years and there hasn't been some sort of lapse of, maybe you got laid off or maybe you switched to a different job title. So just be ready to explain that. Now, if we need to count bonus and commissions in your salary to get you qualified, we're going to need a 2-year track history of that. Meaning, if you have a base salary of $45,000 and you get commissions, but you only have a year's worth of commissions, it's going to be hard to count that commission towards your income. Now, that can offset something as far as it benefiting you in the fact maybe you're a little weak in some other spot. Maybe your salary is fine, but your credit score is a little bit lower. If we're only using that base income and you had commission income, well, when we take that back to the underwriter, that looks favorable for you. You're qualifying. You qualify fine based on your income. Your credit score is a little bit under, but we're not counting that commission income that you have because we don't have a 2-year history of that. That looks pretty favorable for you when we go in front of an underwriter. So the last thing I want to touch on is, let's just say you lack credit. Well, there are non-traditional credit sources out there that you probably don't even know of. Your history with your landlord. So be prepared to go back to your landlord or wherever you're renting from and be able to show cancel checks, deposits, have your landlord write a letter saying, yes, you've been on time for the past 12 months and you've never been late. Some of those buy here, pay here are also an alternative credit source that we've used in the past. I'm trying to think the rent-a-centers where if you purchased a refrigerator and you rented it for 12 months, that usually doesn't show up on your credit report, but it is a non-traditional credit item that we can use. That payment history. So we're going to want to get with whoever that service store where you purchased that or you rented that refrigerator from. Things like that. We can go on and on about all the different items you can get for non-traditional credit. The big thing is to get a paper trail. So you want to be able to paper trail everything and tie it all in nice when you do actually submit your file to the underwriters. So I hope that helps. Give me a call. I'd be happy to review your file with you and go over some questions. Basically, this video was just to kind of tell you. I get a lot of calls every day. What's the minimum credit? What's the minimum credit? What can I do? 580 is kind of the minimum credit score that you're going to need. If you're just under that, well, I'm sure we can get you to the 580 so you can purchase that house. So give me a call, and I look forward to talking to you. Thanks.